Yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking there. So early on, one of the goals I set for this project was to teach you guys that this journey is not impossible, but it's also not easy. And that implies that there's going to be some weeks where we just fall flat on our face. And this was one of them. Early in the week, I was looking at my results and I noticed that on ACR, which is the toughest of the 4 sites that I play on, I had really consistent results, lots of cashes, lots of final tables, lots of scores. The graph was turning up in a really nice direction. When I looked on the other sites, it was nowhere near as consistent and I hadn't had near as much of the results. In fact, most of my losses that have happened on this stake have happened on the other 3 sites. Knowing that ACR is tougher, I wanted to take a deeper dive into this. Is it variance? Is there something I was doing wrong? And so early in the week, I sat down with Frank. We did a study session live on Twitch where I went through a hand history on BOL, I went through a hand history on Ignition, and we just looked for issues. And I was pleasantly surprised as I went through it. I didn't really find any major issues. There were a few minor passive mistakes that I was making, but there was nothing during the hand history review that was alarming or embarrassing or uncomfortable. And so it felt like, okay, maybe this was just a lot of variance. Later in the day, Ryan hit me up and we were talking about this issue and he's like, well, let's hop in a quick study session and let's take a look at a tournament on BOL and a tournament on Iggy and kind of see what we can find. And I thought to myself, well, it doesn't make any sense to send him the hand history that I just went through with Frank. I'll grab 2 new ones. And so I grabbed 2 different ones, sent them over to him, and wow, did we find some problems. So here I am. I find myself on a call with Ryan, with High Hands, with Gordo Experiment. We're all going through my hand history, and it's just like mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. I'm just sitting here going, what is going on? And to Ryan's credit, he was amazing through the thing. He didn't get angry. He didn't get frustrated. He didn't attack me. He was just like, look, obviously, this is not what we saw when we went through your hand history on ACR, 2 weeks ago. There's obviously some issues with the software. Maybe you're not used to it. Maybe you're not paying close enough attention to it. Maybe you have too many tables, but these are things you need to get fixed. And so Ryan encouraged me to take a couple days and just grind on one site and really get comfortable with it again. And this was really helpful for me because as it turned out, I had tuned out some of the sound effects from some of these sites from hearing them over and over again. I wasn't as used to the software. Some of the sites we play on don't do the big blind stacks. They do the regular stacks. And so there were all these nuances that I hadn't realized that I had lost touch with. And since I've played so much ACR, since it's my favorite site, I've grown out of comfort with these other sites, and it was leading to me making sloppy mistakes and sloppy decisions, as well as facing some weaker competition and maybe trying to play a little over their heads, maybe trying to get a little too fancy in some spots. So I locked out a couple days just to play on Ignition and start there because it's the softest of the 4 sites that we're going to be playing on. Ryan says it's the fastest site to move up into the high stakes, and so we prioritize that. And it was really good to get in and really dig in on this site for a couple of days. My second day of playing just on Ignition, we finally had some success. We final tabled the 2750 knockout. Ended up working our way through despite taking a few hits during the final table. We kept battling, got all the way to heads up, and almost got ourselves in the spot to win it. With that success in place, we felt even more confident heading into a 3rd day of Ignition-only tournaments. With Mad Monday here, it only made sense to take some shots at some tournaments on Mad Monday as well. And this was a fun little journey. I decided to drop down in tables and just play 4 tables instead of playing 6 to 8, and then just shaving out the low stakes stuff and really just focusing on the mid stakes, playing some $20 to $30 tournaments. And wouldn't you know it, with 4 tables, we just started printing stacks. I was running deep and everything. I had 4 deep runs going at the same time. I really thought that we were going to have a big breakthrough. And then, as poker will do, one by one, it was just get wrecked, get wrecked, get wrecked, get wrecked. Ended up breaking even on the day. But there's something that's happening here, because now, as we've transitioned from the low stakes to the mid stakes, and now I'm starting to see some mid stakes success, and I'm continuing to run consistently deep, the confidence is continuing to grow, the energy is continuing to grow, and I can see how, if I can keep positioning myself with these deep runs, man, these 1K and 1500 and 2K scores are going to come. It's only a matter of time. I just need to stay consistent. I need to keep working on some of these little things that are creeping back in. I need to keep my check raise high. I need to keep my RFI from late position high. I need to keep working on these things. But the bottom line is, we are making progress. And sometimes progress starts in the form of doing something stupid or falling flat on your face or embarrassing yourself, not because failure is ideal, right? But because failure makes us aware of some of the things that maybe we have turned ourselves off to, started to ignore, started to not think about, and it refocuses our awareness and our priorities. And this has been a really good week. We didn't cash a lot. We didn't profit a lot by the end of the week. Our bankroll's about where it was at the start of this week, but we learned a ton, and we're in a really strong position moving forward. And I really think we're going to see some big things next week. That's it for this week of The Journey. I hope you will join us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/PokerPastor. We stream 3 to 4 days a week there. You can join us in the Bootcamp Discord. All you have to do is sign up for LearnProPoker using my link in the description below to get some more personal hands-on training if you want to get better at poker and work with some other students who are working hard with me. And of course, hit that like and subscribe button so you can get notifications when new episodes of The Journey come out. That's it for me, Rob Gardner. We'll see you next week.